tithing to me, it means trusting God as the banker. I think I'd be more concerned if I didn't tithe.
My background was not in church. Neither one of my parents had gone to church, really didn't have any experience with it. When I first heard of the concept of tithing, I grasped the whole thing because obviously I knew that people had to contribute in order for a church to function. It was a little bit of a shock to me how much it was. My wife brought it up to me and said she felt this conviction that we needed to tithe and contribute to the church. I just felt it as one more payment or one more bill that I had to pay, and we were already kind of stretched on our budget.
We bought a house, we had a second baby, had a third baby. We considered WACC our home church, and that's when I started to feel a pretty big conviction to tithe. I felt God was really asking me to honor Him by tithing.
A few years ago, I was married and then I wasn't married. My husband left. We bought a house with 2 incomes. And when he walked out, I panicked. And I thought, oh goodness, there's no way I can afford this house. I can't do this by myself. But during that time, months had gone by and I was still making the payments. I still was living life and I didn't know how.
I myself had to figure in my mind how we were going to get to that end goal because a tithe seemed like an astronomical amount of money to me, and we just started working at it slowly. We started with a smaller amount that we could afford at the time with our budget, and then slowly added to it. Once we got adjusted to it, then slowly added to it, and before we knew it, we were at a full tithe, and we didn't really notice or see the effect it had on our budget. We took the money out before any of our bills were paid, so right after I received my paycheck for the week, it immediately came out, and that was that.
Financially, there was just no way that I made enough money to pay all my debts. And month after month, it was just there, and I just kept living by faith and just saying, okay, Lord, I'm still here. So a friend invited me to go and meet with a financial consultant, and I did. And when he saw what I make and all my bills, he said, you give how much? You need to stop tithing. You need to give 1%, not 10%. And all I can think of is, Philippians, for God shall supply all my needs. And it wasn't some of my needs, and it wasn't going to be just right now. It was going to be when I retire. It was going to be all the time.
I think tithing, it kind of showed me that when we take sometimes a scary step, God honors that and He blesses us in return. He provided for us, and it kind of gave us that reassurance that sometimes you have to take a scary step in order to honor God and to just be faithful to Him.
My sisters still tell me, Mart, how are you doing it? Like, God. One answer, God and faith.